So here comes the Lions team, led out today or tonight by the Scotsman Gordon Bullock, and they'll get a good welcome. Huge number of Lions supporters in attendance, as you'd expect. Well, several of this Lions forward pack tonight have a chance to force their way into the test on Saturday night. One of those, if he can produce a convincing performance here, is Welsh open side flanker Martin Williams. So far his form in the tour hasn't been up to his Six Nations efforts. In the absence of a form number 7, he has a chance tonight. So does the captain, Gordon Bullock. He's in with an opportunity to impress. The only player in the back line backing up from the first test is winger Jason Robinson. In an average night at fullback in Christchurch, and a more confident effort tonight might see him grab a winger's slot in Wellington. On the other wing, Welshman Shane Williams must also be in test contention. So must Jordan Murphy at fullback. Brent Cobain has come into the reserves. Now he's just off the plane. I think he was number 50 in the touring party. There is another one. Jason White is number 51 as the players continue to accumulate and injuries continue to happen on this Lions tour. The Brent Cobain in the reserves tonight. Brother of Matt Cobain, of course, the Australian test player. So those are the Lions, and now the big moment for the locals. Huge night for Manawatu, with so many of them, these players, playing the games of their lives. Nathan Kemp, the hooker and captain, has played at First Division and Super 12 level. And that experience will be invaluable tonight. Another player to watch is blindside flanker Nathan Triggs. Played in the New Zealand divisional side last year and is highly regarded in these parts. And a number of players have moved to the Manawatu Union since last season. 3 of these are in the back line: Jason Campbell, Graham Smith and Jonathan Hargraves. Hargraves, like the other 2, comes from North Harbour. By all accounts is a lively and accurate half-back. And last year's regular second 5'8", Frank Bryant, has moved to a new home at fullback. And the 7 reserves on the Manawatu bench as the players will come together for the anthems.
The outstanding for the Lions song and the national anthem of New Zealand. To sing the Lions song, Carl Perigo. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of New Zealand, to be sung by Vicky Lee and Cindy Joe.
atmosphere here in Palmerston North. Here's tonight's referee Lyndon Bray doing his second tour match. He did the Lions against Otago. And joining him on the touchlines tonight, Kelvin Deaker and Steve Walsh. Paddy O'Brien upstairs to make the decisions. Let's get a good quick call on conditions down there with Ian Smith. Smithy.
It only has to be brief, Nisbo. They are brilliant, really. The wind from this afternoon has gone away. Underfoot absolutely perfect. No excuse now for Gordon Bullock and his side tonight to make a very long and lasting impression on this tour, and maybe for Charlie Hodgson, a lot of points in the bank. If the Lions can get it right, they have ideal conditions to make it that way.
Yes, they've got to get it right tonight, the Lions. They have been so disappointing on this tour. And an opportunity for some of these guys to maybe force the selector's hand for the test match on Saturday. The game is underway, and the kickoff is made by Jonathan Hargraves in Palmerston North. Manawatu against the Lions, and the Lions have lost control of it immediately. And Manawatu have turned it over and have got an opportunity out wide as they take it down to the 22. Well, an early mistake by the Lions. So Hargraves reaches in, turned back inside by Graham Smith, and the ball is lost forward, and so a scrum to start the match, but an untidy start by the Lions.
Well, they couldn't take in the kickoff. I mean, the first kickoff, have a look, it was just tapped down. Two hands there, there's no excuse for that. And then it wasn't regathered, gave Manawatu a chance and a taste. Just what the home team needed.
Stand up, please, Fred. If we don't go down, there'll be no
Isn't that an extraordinary thing? Look how close. This is a second division provincial side, just about as heavy as the Lions team. So I think the days of saying that the Lions are bigger and heavier than all the opposition are over.
Keep straight here. Right half.
Halfback is Chris Cassidy tonight.
Flanco, please.
The Scott. Off the back goes Michael Owen, the Welshman.
Hands away, Green. Nice feet here.
Looking slowly for Cassidy. He'll be looking for Charlie Hodgson. Try and drive the ball away downfield. And he does so, but Lyndon Bray was actually playing an advantage. And there was no advantage from that kick. Absolutely perfect night here for rugby. Big crowd, around about 18,000.
Well, it's one of those occasions really where one would expect the British and Irish Lions side to really perform, produce some good ball, move it around, score some good tries. They should win by 30 points this game, surely.
Gordon Hook, his first throw, nicely taken down by Simon Shaw. And the Lions supporters are delighted. They've got a line out, something they couldn't achieve at Jade Stadium the other night. Manawatu holding them up as the Lions try to make progress through the middle. Just smuggled into the back. Now Cassidy clears it off to Hodgson. Rather a hesitant run coming from Darcy, but they're still in possession. 10-metre line, Manawatu territory in O'Callaghan. The big Irish forward takes it up to the 10-metre line. Now Hodgson, quick hands required enough. Got it away beautifully to Jason Robinson, and he copped a high one. Well, encouraging signs here from the Lions. They're going to try and spin this wide. Here's Williams. And now it's out on the left wing to Shane Williams with his pace. Now, did he get it down in time? They're going to have to check. Shane Williams thinks he might have.
You there, Paddy?
But Steve Walsh wasn't quite so sure, so Paddy O'Brien is going to have to check.
Oh, blistering pace and the goose step.
Thanks, mate.
Was it Williams or the Manawatu player that caught the corner flag? Hard to say.
It's the Manawatu player that's hit the flag, but what about the right foot of Shane Williams? Did it hit the line before he forced the ball? That's the key. The right foot.
It's a near thing, and he wants to go back and have another look. Now just keep an eye on the right foot. And I think he's just hit the line first. What do you reckon?
I'd like to give him a try. I reckon it was a classic outside break. Worthy of a try, surely.
I think that one hangs him, to be honest.
Yeah, it might do.
No doubt about it. The right toe is touching the line. before the ball is grounded. Left foot's fine, it's in the air. Right foot, just the toe. That's all it needs, Murray, isn't it?
That's
just to touch the line.
Yep. It's touch and go. It is touch and go.
The best three players about 2 back. If they don't score here, he's given up to him. There you go. Oh.
It's a classic little try, this one. This is the outside on the other side of the field, and it came back from here. But that drew all the Manawatu players over there. They had numbers wide, and they were skinny. And here's, watch this little goose step here. Whoa, David Campese, eat your heart out. Whoa, blistering pace. Well, whether or not he touched the line doesn't matter. Deserved the try.
Well, it doesn't matter now. It's been awarded. I'd still question it, quite frankly. 5-0. And the kick is astray.
Looked like it was going to go to Custard again with that pass there. It looked so laboured, but Williams did well, both Williams. And even with the old adage, the touchline's your friend, it wasn't there on that occasion for right winger Bevan Gray.
Well, he's a brilliant player, Shane Williams. He gets a second try, got a lovely one down at Dunedin. Now, this one is controlled by the Lions. And it was Dontro Callaghan.
Come out 4.
Well, that should give them some confidence, that try.
Here's the hooker, Gordon Bullock, making a couple of metres. So many of these players have got an opportunity to play their way into the test team. And that's a good kick.
What about this man, Charlie Hodgson? What do you think, Lisbo? Because he had an outstanding game, second game, I think it was against Taranaki, if I recall.
Well, I guess it depends on whether he would have kicked Wilkinson at second 5. It didn't really work. You'd imagine Wilkinson will go to 10.
Well, one would have thought he would have started there, actually. But
so here's Nathan Kemp, his first throw. Beautifully handled by Hayden Triggs. Now, he played lock for most of last year. He's a big, tall man. Here's Kemp running into solid opposition on the 10-metre line. Reaching it as Hargraves, saw nobody home. And finally snapped up there by Matt Aldridge at second 5'8". Just a few nerves, you'd expect that. Smith slips over as he makes the kick. Robinson struggling with it. Now he's finally under control. He really needs to show some form tonight. Rather surprisingly played at fullback in the first test. Now Hodgson. Big kick across field. And I'm hoping he gets hope this goes all the way, but it's not going to make it.
it's not out.
Fielded by Jordan Murphy. Away to Hodgson. Big Michael Owen out in centre field. Robinson has another go, but he fell over. 15 metres on the Manawatu side of halfway. Plenty of movement early on as Cassiter clears it. Away to Murphy. Williams is out there wide again. Darcy for Williams. He's got some support here from Simon Shaw. Some of the big men ranging wide. Holding possession well. Now here's Martin Corrie needing a big game. Ball drops away loose and is in touch.
Well, the Lions just settling in, looks to me like. Now starting to feel a bit of confidence. That little touch from Simon Shaw didn't quite come off, but the idea was correct.
Another good line out as Kemp gets his throw right. Manawatu control it. Good charge here by Big Sam Moore. He's transferred away from the King Country area down to Manawatu this season. and nicely worked. You'd expect Manawatu to take 10 minutes to get into this very huge game for these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would have thought the first 10-15 minutes would have been their best, really, when they were all fire and brimstone. You know, it's a time that you do try and upset the opposition, and they sort of did right from the start. But the Lions regrouped pretty quickly. I mean, one would imagine, though, that the Lions would have everything to play for, and they would be...
Oh, way over the back. I'm not sure it was meant to go to Martin Williams. Lions making it difficult for themselves. Now blindside. Away to Williams. Nice pass on the inside, but it's forward. And some good solid tackling too by the men in green.
Well, I think that's the area, isn't it, that they could be exposed as the game wears on, is when the Lions get a grip on moving the ball amongst themselves. The other area is whether the Lions can actually drive, whether they have the ability to drive from the line out.
Crouch and holds.
This is the first scrum Manawatu will feed, so we'll get some indication how solid their scrum is.
Please crouch and hold only.
Big Andy Sheridan on this side for the Lions. He's a man mounted, and he's got his knees down. So they're going to obviously try and put huge pressure on the front row here. See whether they can do it legally.
Last one, straight.
Well, this is the guy that I'm surprised hasn't been used, actually, Sheridan. Because I thought he was doing a great job in the Maori match before he went off, ordered off.
Manawatu on the back foot. And they are going to get it here. So Hargraves digs in. Away it goes to Graham Smith. Away to the right winger Bevan Gray, who came in. The Lions reading the move pretty well though. Now Frank Bryant up from fullback. Hargraves digs in. Good kick from Smith.
Good play, Manawatu.
Williams will give this to Murphy and look for the clearance. He could have gotten into trouble there. Kemper's controlling it. No, he can't. Well, Manawatu were up in numbers there. Murphy almost found himself with nowhere to go.
Not sure that should have been Lions ball, I think.
Another good line out. Set pieces working okay for Manawatu. Out into midfield, an ambitious pass, but it was scooped up there by Johnny Leota.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Manawatu are still in possession. The Lions are getting their bodies there, and they drove legitimately over the top of that. Now Corrie, taken away from him by O'Callaghan. Now it's with Murphy.
Roll out, Green. Last feet.
10 minutes gone. Sheridan makes the break. Again feeds Robinson. Looking for support, and they're going to score a try here. And it'll be Corrie. Martin Corrie. And it was really set up by the run by Jason Robinson. Manawatu just caught short on the blind side.
Oh, it was good play, Lions. It was Sheridan, I think, that got the pass away to Robinson, put him in the clear. Look at that. Loose head prop, beautiful pass. So he beat his marker. The cover got him, but there were enough supporting players.
Well, Martin Corrie's been very evident already. He's worked out on both sides of the park and here backing up in good fashion. Robinson has looked keen about his work, custard of the in pass. Looks very good already for the Lions. Big point scoring opportunities for them tonight, and get some real confidence.
Well, ironically, two of the players who are most under pressure, who played last week, Corrie and Robinson, have shone early. And the conversion is made by Hodgson. So the Lions have scored 2 tries and lead by 12-0.
And Corrie made no doubt about it, diving short of the line and sliding off. Well, the local team needs to get a bit more ball, I think, and hold on to it if they can. Otherwise, they're going to get a bar.
Kickoff is claimed by Owen.
Hands away.
Cassida back for Hodgson. Yeah, that's a well-timed kick. Beautifully dragged down though by Hargraves.
Holding great.
And he in turn
gives it back to the Lions.
Slams it down to Murphy. And Murphy with plenty of time.
I don't think the thing to do for a provincial side against this side is to kick them the ball. I'm sure the New Zealand provincial sides have done better when they've run the ball at the Lions. That's what happened when Bay of Plenty turned their game around after 10 minutes. Taranaki also.
It just goes a little bit too far this time, and it's been snapped up by Williams. Now Owen. And the big Welsh number 8, almost down to the 10-metre line. Cassida. Oh, he sold the dummy, he had to too. He made a half gap, and he got it off to Sheridan. Sets it nicely again. Tipped on by
Offside here, right
Hodgson, but offside play. Manawatu flying up in defence.
This man here, 14. Ruck was full.
Well, he certainly was up offside. So, line-out position, full-on attack Lions.
Let's go red, please.
We're very interested to see if they've got the confidence to take it in. What they should be doing, I think, if they haven't, take it in and try and build confidence in this area.
Well, they get it off the bullet, but they're in touch.
It's out there, gentlemen.
Just put the foot on the line.
Down red, please.
Line out going well, isn't it?
I'm not surprised, actually. They had a bit of time with Steve Hansen earlier in the year. During the Orange course, the Manawatu players joined in, and he was doing this line-out pod system that he has with the All Blacks, where they develop little groups and they dance together. Synchronicity, I think, is the word. And it's all about timing and support. And I'm sure that's why the All Blacks got so much line-out ball against the throw on Saturday.
Here come the Lions again. Cassida, very flat pass to Hodgson. They're coming from all angles. Smith slipped the pass. Robinson lost it though. And Manawatu looking to counter-attack. The referee will play advantage as long as he can. But he'll have to go back.
Lost forward, he's on his feet. Lost forward will go back, no advantage.
Well, they're running with some purpose tonight. We haven't seen a lot of this on the tour to date. Suddenly these guys, I think the midweekers realise there's a chance for a big day on Saturday.
Absolutely. After the performance, relatively poor performance, I'd call it actually, of the Lions side, all these guys really should be on the spot. I mean, that's what touring is about, really. Although it has been confused with the number of players on this tour.
Accidentally offside. Accidental offside, ran straight into him.
But really, selection should normally be on merit, and performance midweek games pushes guys into test selection. So I'm not surprised that Woodward is saying, look, front tonight, we'll throw you in the test match in the weekend.
Engage! Keep straight! Right. I think that's my fault, I was too quick. Yeah, I was too fast.
Neil back on the
There's
bench tonight. Word seems to be
Slide
that
down,
he'll get
thank you.
40
Crouch and
minutes.
holds.
Martin Williams will get 40 minutes. Whether it's a straight head-to-head, I don't know.
What best man gets in the test match?
Like the old schoolboys days.
Early
Oh, it's
engage.
not a bad idea though, isn't it? Stand up and be counted, it is. Yes, well, Neil Back was pretty quiet, I thought, on the weekend.
You quite often look back at the end of a game, Larry, when you've done a commentary and think, how many times did I mention that bloke's name? I don't know whether I mentioned Neil Back once.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Which is unusual for a number 7. Bullock throws. Off the top goes Shaw. And the back's having a good run tonight. Smith gets through a half gap. Now Darcy gets it back. Just crabbing a little across field. Making it a little easier for the Manawatu defenders.
Thank you, hand away.
Still there though. Now it's with Jason Robinson. Not the first time tonight that he's just slipped. Oh, they turned it over.
Stolen.
Manawatu have turned them,
Hand
so
away, Reds. Nice legs.
they get to go with the ball now. Stabbing the kick through. Might have just pushed it a little too far. Looking to just drop it maybe 10 metres in behind the lines.
Well, Murray, Manawatu have got to, if they continue to kick the ball back to them or kick it out, they've got to start contesting a few of these lineouts, because of late they have not done that.
Well, I'm sure they've got that ability. As I said, they've had a lot of sessions with Hanson. He's obviously very good at this. But, well, they contested that one a little bit, Smithy.
Well, that's what rugby's all about, contesting the ball, isn't it? That makes it different from other games.
That's what the lineout's about anyway. In the scrum, of course.
Well, most of the game, to be honest. Cassida, Hodgson, Williams out in midfield. Good driving defence on him.
Yeah, but he set it up well.
Yeah, he did. Now Hodgson, he'll look to kick. Got this raking kick away downfield. It's another good one. They do have the ability to take out 50 metres.
Well, that's a direct response from Manawatu kicking the ball into touch, giving the line out to the Lions, and now the Lions replying.
Red step.
Coming up to the halfway mark in this first spell. 2 tries to 0. Shane Williams, Martin Corrie. Kebb's throwing has been good, and his combination with his jumpers has been good as well.
5 in the air, in the line out.
Precision.
Took him in the air. Hands all over him.
Penalty against the Irishman, Dontre Callaghan.
You don't think he agrees with him?
No. Tell you what, he'd be a chance too for the weekend, given that Ben Kay was anonymous. Well, worse than that.
Well, how many Lions players would you say really stood up in the weekend?
Yes. There's no answer to
Well,
that.
no, I've been thinking about it, and I'm battling.
Step.
There's no one that stands up and says, gee, he was good.
Well, they've got a free kick here. Manawatu. Eagles want to get behind them here. They want to keep the ball in hand and have a bit of a crack. Not such a good pass. Tidying it up with Triggs. Lost a fair bit of ground though. Going to be another kick here, and that's not a very good one. Although it's beaten Murphy. It didn't look to be a very good one, but somehow it managed to go through the gap.
Yeah, it was the way it stood on its end, really. I think it was a bit lucky, but it turned out not too bad. Had it been taken by Murphy, there would have been all sorts of trouble, I'd say, for Manawatu, so it was not without risk.
Bullock throws. Bullock's line of throwing has been pretty accurate so far.
That's once, half once. Yeah, that's fine. He broke off. Play on.
Swirling their way outside the 22. Now the charge coming from Simon Shaw, but he's in danger of being isolated, but Martin Williams spotted that and joined him.
Step back, please, here.
Now it's back to Hodgson. And another excellent kick. Oh, beauty. It was always spiralling in that direction.
It's a bit of ping pong at the moment, isn't it, with a couple of lineouts chucked in, but the drives from the Lions, Murray, or the attempted drives, don't seem to be making too much progress. It's a game between the number 10s.
Yes, it's quite different to previous Lions tours where they have generated good support and drive in that area.
Well, that wasn't such a good throw, and there's real pressure here as Williams brings it away. Martin Williams is just a couple of metres short, and he's lost it forward.
Lost forward. Lost forward here. Green scrum.
Good work by Martin Williams.
Well, he's trying to recapture the form that he showed in the Six Nations, where he was player of the tournament. Just hasn't been able to do it here in New Zealand, but a lively start tonight. If he's only got 40 minutes to show his wares, he's only got 20 to go.
Yeah, he very nearly lost that ball there too, actually. I didn't catch that in real time.
Now, a Manawatu scrum under pressure, but nicely snapped off the back by Brian Matinga.
He ran the wrong way, made it pretty hard for himself.
Bearing kick under real duress, and it's a good one. Back to the 22. Charlie McAllister, the coach of Manawatu, has had these guys training hard, sometimes, Murray, at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You wouldn't get a professional player doing that, I don't think.
Well, they assembled in February. They had their trials in February before they went to Australia.
Cassiter almost lost that forward. Now it's out to Darcy in midfield. And the Lions attacking inside the 22.
No right kick 5. He was on his feet.
It's a real shambles here. The Lions appear to have lost control of it, but Manawatu have left their feet. Quickly taken. Here they go, the Lions. Williams spins out of a couple of tackles, and the little Welsh winger has done it again. Looked as though he was held, but he bounced away and picked up try number 2 for him, and the 3rd for the Lions tonight.
Well, he's a little pocket of muscle, isn't he? And speed. He got well hit by... Oh, yes, he did well. Well hit by Kemp and just bounced out and continued on.
Well, he's coming a long way off his wing to look for work tonight. That's the thing about both the wingers. They've been very industrious and they've been rewarded for their efforts. It's a poor defence by Manawatu. The 5:30 starts might get earlier if they don't get that right for Charlie later in the season.
Two more to the Lions. Hodgson converts the second try scored tonight by Shane Williams. And this is the guy that gave the All Blacks some real problems at the World Cup a couple of years ago. Not quite so many problems last year in Cardiff. I think they knew the danger. But I think he's showing his class here tonight.
I was standing next to those two wingers down on the touchline earlier on. They're pretty small, both wingers tonight, Robinson and Williams.
Hargraves with the kick-off. Back for Hodgson. And once again, a prodigious kick downfield. Got it by Hargraves. Straight out to midfield to Bryant. And the fullback decides to have a go. That's what Manawatu need to do. Try and break a few tackles.
That's the sort of play for sure.
Looking better already, aren't they? Forgetting about the kicking. Hargraves. Here goes the next kick.
I'm not sure.
Williams easily outside his 22. Hands it back to Murphy.
Now keep hold of it.
Hargraves goes wide again to Bryant. He's not afraid to have a run, but makes a liar of me and kicks it.
He must have heard you.
This won't be claimed by anyone. And it's now Darcy. Got it away to Hodgson. And the kicking duel. If it is going to be a kicking duel, the Lions are always going to win those. They are experts.
Well, they have a lot of practice at it. I get the impression watching Premiership rugby in the UK. They sort of play a ground to territorial game. I think that's the single difference that I see between the two games in Northern Southern Hemisphere is the willingness to counter-attack.
Roll off, Red. Last feet.
Manawatu
Last feet here.
have the ball. Bringing Rollins in from death. Good defence there by
Last feet
Gordon
here,
Darcy.
Reds.
Now Smith hands it off to Martinga.
Advantage.
Advantage here, and sure whether it's a penalty or a free kick. Here's trouble.
There's a few numbers wide here.
And they've got a speedster, Robinson, now Murphy, and Murphy looks like he'll do it himself. And Jordan Murphy goes in. Another try to the Lions, and they're now having a pretty good night, 24 points to 0.
They're now looking like an international side as soon as good sides gets a bit of space and a bit of ball, using the pass to beat the man so often. Have a look at this. That's the one. Overlapped and just stepped off his right twice, and the cover wasn't there.
Well, they won the turnover without any of the 3 loose forwards, because there they are in a row, 6, 7 and 8. Quick shift to Jason Robinson, whose skills have been quite sublime tonight, and Murphy, who has looked promising and a real threat all tour, really, with the exception of one poorish match. But he's one that can't be discounted either. Jordan Murphy looks to be back towards his best.
Another try converted by Hodgson, 26 to 0. Yes, he's a beautiful runner, Jordan Murphy.
He's quite upright, isn't he? And he's sort of...
Kickoff goes down to Owen. 12 minutes remaining, first half.
Roll out, please. Here it is. Last feet.
Working blind. Oh dear, Hodgson got splashed. Not sure whether it was entirely legal either. We'll have to have a look at that. He's gone down, Charlie Hodgson. As almost gone. He's got the intercept. Now let's see whether the touch judge has anything to say. I suspect he will have.
Yeah, I think it's Nathan Kempner who might be in a spot of bother here, high and late.
Did not look good.
Out of it for you. Okay, well, mate, I've had, this is my third, so it's a yellow card. Are you happy with yellow? Number 2. There's 3 in the game, mate. I can't tolerate any more. Halfway line, mate, halfway.
Well, he's heading behind the goalpost, but in actual fact, he's got to go to the halfway line. So Manawatu will lose their captain, and he won't be back till just on half-time. Hard enough with 15.
Make it harder now. He's the man that throws the ball into the line-out, the man who hooks the ball.
They're going to have to lose a loose forward, aren't they, really, to make up the numbers here, because the scrums and line-outs, they need the hooker.
I don't think it was late. I just think it was high. It was careless. He needed to be lower.
So play continues. Just over 10 minutes out from half-time. Tough call now for Manawatu.
Roll out, Green, roll outs.
And there's a Manawatu player who slowed it down. And there'll be a penalty.
Here's the tackler.
Well, they won't kick for goal, will they?
Away goes Cassida. They have taken it smartly, and the little halfback goes into the gap. Still going. Now he gets it off to Robinson. And another try. Jason Robinson gets his first of the tour.
Okay.
Well, good quick thinking, quick reactions, Chris Cassiter. And then the formality.
I think Kelvin Deek is a bit worried that Jason Robinson's right hand might have hit the line in goal, but I think he's okay on this occasion. They're scared to make decisions these days, the old touchies, aren't they? But Cassiter made the break. It was outstanding work, and then the situation where he drew and passed, and he let Robinson have the run to the line. He's just worried about the right hand. No problem.
I think when you're a winger and you're diving like that, you know exactly where the line is and where your arms are. I think he was well aware. He's scored a few over the years, hasn't he, Jason Robinson?
Yes, he scored a lot of tries.
Good quick thinking from Cassida. And the Manawatu were always chasing back, and the numbers were running out.
this time for Charlie Hodgson, who's recovered from that heavy knock. But all the play here made by little Chris Cassida, who's had a pretty good tour. And in goes Jason Robinson. So 31 points to 0.
Pretty handy half-time lead.
5 tries so far. Still about 8 minutes remaining. Oh, the Lions have lost this one. It's been claimed by Faleafunga for Manawatu. Really got to give it a go. Use it through their hands now, Manawatu. They've done enough kicking.
Hands away, Reds!
Here's Faleafunga. He doesn't mind having a run. Over the 22 he goes.
No, not yet. Thank you.
In goes the loose head prop Sam Moore. Haven't been in the 22 very often. And they're going to get a penalty. I wouldn't imagine they'll worry about
second
kicking goals.
should never be in there.
Mind you, with a man in the bin, actually, I think I'd be inclined to take that. They've got to get through to half-time. They wouldn't want any more points to occur. And they've lost their hooker who throws it in.
It's only a scrum, mate.
Yes, that's right. They've got to find someone to throw the ball.
No, he went for the ball. I was happy with that. I know what you're saying.
Goal. Yeah, they were looking at all the options.
And halfback Jonathan Hargraves just asked Lyndon Bray if they can bring the hooker on for the throw, and he said no, only the scrum.
It's only a scrum, mate.
So who's the kicker? Was the hooker the kicker as well?
No, the halfback's the kicker. And he's going to have a crack at goal.
He looked a little bit sort of bemused.
It's only scrum because that's the only safety issue with the sin bin. I can't bring him on for anything else. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but no. Problem is, mate, that's a false sub.
I think really Manawatu could have done there was develop a blood bin. It's been done before.
Develop a blood bin?
Yes. Find some blood somewhere. Get someone in the bin for 10 minutes. Bring on a front rower. Preferably a loose forward, Murray.
Yes.
Here's the first kick for Hargraves. And just got in there.
But what it does now, of course, it gives Manawatu a chance to receive the ball, hold on to possession, grind their way back again. 6 minutes remaining in this first half. Look at that gap behind the Manawatu players.
Tap back on the Lions side, looking to snap it up as Owen, and he finally does.
Last feed here.
Coming into play halfback is Shane Williams. He's about the right size. Thumping run by Corrie. And
He's lost forward at the kickoff.
And he's playing a long advantage. It was lost forward by Manawatu from the kickoff.
Now you can do the sub.
Now it's a scrum, so they can make a sub.
Who's going off, gentlemen, you know?
They'll take off a Lucy, no doubt.
8's off.
Number 8. The hooker comes on.
So Simon Easton in 16.
Fellas, please, before you go down, I don't want to know Locke's call. I'll see it. I just want the set, okay? Crouch and holds.
Now they've got a flanker on each side. Engage. Needs to do some tackling here.
If I go anywhere, it'll be against you, all right? Set in, please, and bind. Crouch and holds.
Good refereeing that, I thought. Giving the message directly to the player he was concerned with.
Weights.
Better than just blowing the whistle.
Well, it wasn't a great line scrum considering they had a man advantage. They got swirled around to one side.
Last.
Cassidy's gone down, the little halfback. So he's out of the game just at the moment.
And again, last, please.
Now he's coming to join the party. There is number 9 in the foreground. Away goes Hodgson looking for a gap. And the gap closes pretty quickly.
Advantage, let it go, please. Let him have it. Still advantage.
Staying at advantage. It's Williams stepping his way through. Looks to offload, does so.
Hadn't got to his feet.
Another tap penalty here. You can put your bottom dry. Manawatu's very slow to regroup.
Now here's Williams. He's away again. This is a bloke they've got to look at for Saturday. He's got a bit of life in him.
Well, he took the tap as well. He seized on the early opportunity and finished it.
Now, what was that finish? Was it sort of like a grasshopper or something?
They allow them a bit of fun, Murray. They haven't had much so far on the tour.
No, I'm sure they'll feel a lot better tonight.
Good offload there by Ollie Smith, actually. He managed to flick it.
He's a live wire, isn't he?
Cassiter, yeah. Well, that should have been wrapped up.
That was Williams that started it, Murray, and Williams that finished it. Only two handers in the movement.
Oh, was that Williams that did the tap?
Yes, yeah, it was.
Conversion made by Charlie Hodgson, 38 points to 3. Still time remaining in the first half.
Well, that's a very intelligent looking outfit that guy's got on.
Oh boy, it'd be all right if there was water there.
Yes, that's right. It's the classic swimming pool dive, isn't it? The bomb. But he didn't tuck up.
Sure takes it, almost loses it. Now Cassiter. Oh, Hodgson in a bit of trouble. He slipped before the ball arrived, which didn't help. Manawatu are through. They might have snaffled this. Yes, they have.
Roll out, Red. Roll out.
That's what they've got to do. More touch and go, really. Getting over the ball.
Now here's an opportunity for Manawatu.
No rucks.
Just before half time would be the right time to get the ball over the goal line. Lions defence has not been easy to penetrate. Oh boy, they're flat.
I was going to say that's a dangerous looking pass.
13, come out. Advantage offside.
Yeah, well, he warned him. He warned Ollie Smith to come out of it. He's got him for offside. Now he's going to play an advantage.
Last feet here.
Now this might be all right. This little kick. Oh, he nearly had it. Still a chance. Now it's been knocked on and back for the penalty.
And 13. Take the 3 points, lads. Take the 3 points.
From the kick.
Play
13.
out the half.
Penalty or scrum, gentlemen.
They've got a line-out throw now. The reserve hooker's on, so they've got the opportunity to kick in the corner.
At 38-3, you think
here or scrum
14
up.
men. Smithy, you'd say kick for the corner.
10 metres, please. Shot it is.
Well, if they time it right, I think Nathan Kemp might just be able to get back on.
Well, it was all on here. The ball was bobbing around.
He was clearly offsides. Ollie Smith.
Good work by Frankie Bryant there. Getting back. I think Nathan Kemp needs a haircut, doesn't he?
Lions captain has made his way to the sideline, Gordon Bullock, and he's been replaced by Andy Titterell in jersey 16. He's about to be.
Jonathan Hargraves. 1 out of 1 so far. Distance is good. Accurate too. Second penalty. 38-6.
So they're back to 15 now, Manawatu. So that means loose forward is on again. Brian Martanga and Nathan Kemp.
So how many points while they were there? Was it 12?
Yeah, I think
12
so.
against 6, wasn't it?
12, yeah, 12-6.
Kick off, nicely taken down by Hayden Creeks.
Beautiful taken down.
Last feet, please.
Well, this is the one you keep going, Smithy. You don't go for touch here.
Here's Kemp having a charge.
That's fine.
Hargraves working the blind side. Giving it out here to the right winger, Bevan Gray. But the flag goes up across the touchline, and that's the end of the first half. And a game so far dominated by the Lions. They've scored 6 tries to 0 and lead by 38-6.
Fairly challenging for the local side for sure. The Lions a little bit unsettled for the first 2 or 3 minutes, and then they settled in. They moved the ball around. They found some space. They scored some tries. They looked quite comfortable, actually, particularly when they got the ball free and wide. They looked very dangerous. Every time the wingers have touched it, they've virtually scored. The local side, well, they've battled a bit. They've had about 44% of the possession. They've had enough ball. They've played most of the game inside their quarter, and they have kicked a bit of ball back to the opposition.
Shane Williams, the Welsh winger, has been the star of the show. 3 tries from him in the first half, 3 out of the 6 that have been scored, and the Lions lead Manawatu at the break by 38 points to 6. Before we go any further, Smithy, quite a few changes, I think, in the Lions team.
Yeah, 3 changes. Nisbet halfback, you're going to see Gareth Cooper on a jersey 20 for Chris Cussiter. First look at Brent Cobain, who will be in jersey 18 for Doncha O'Callaghan, so going into lock. And as expected, Neil Back's going to get the second 40 minutes, 19 for 7, Martin Williams off. And
Andy Tittle, I think, is still out there.
He's staying out there, yep.
Okie doke. So there's Brent Cobain. Australian, born in Australia, of course, but somehow qualifies for Wales. Had a pretty good Six Nations. Played against the All Blacks in Cardiff towards the end of last year. Brother of Matt Cobain.
Well, Neil Back. We're going to have another little look at Neil Back and see what he's up to.
Charlie Hodgson gets the second half underway here. And the Lions have put some new blood out there, so you wouldn't imagine the intensity will lessen.
Crouch and holds.
Gareth Cooper.
Engage!
Had a pretty average appearance against Southland a week ago. At halfback. Held in the back by Owen. Now it's delivered to Cooper. Off it goes to Hodgson. Here's Ollie Smith running straight through. Got his pass off to Darcy, who got hit hard by Bryant. And the Lions hit this one hard. And it's there for them. Now Williams. The in pass goes to Corrie. Getting some support, but he's been held up just a metre or so short. Now it's there for Cooper. Big charge by Sheridan. Down he went. So it's there again for Cooper. Boy, they've got some players out wide. They don't need them. Hodgson will go through and score easily. And the Lions start the second half with a roar.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Well, they did it all well right from the start. This is where the break came. The first one, he was through, he offloaded. Well, he was hit, but he carried on, Darcy. It was good work by Darcy. The momentum continued. And then this is the final. They're around a 3-man overlap here, you know. It makes it so easy for an inside back to slip a tackle.
Yeah, some nice patient phases, weren't they, from the Lions on that occasion. Ollie Smith making the original break. Good support from his outside centre on that occasion, who was Gordon Darcy. And then pretty obvious that they're pretty keen to get their hands on the ball. Andy Sheridan is right in there. And then Hodgson breaking the last tackle. So good start, Lions.
45 points to 6 as the kickoff is made. Cobain goes early, and nobody managed to drag that down. Looks like Manawatu in possession though. Hargraves gets it off to Smith. Smith almost got through. And Manawatu, they're looking to retain a bit more possession here in the second half. Now goes out to the open side flanker Bradrock. And they're very close to the touchline. And it's been nicely snapped up by Paul Rogers. There it is for Hargraves again. In pass coming. Ball's been lost forward by Johnny Leota. And the Lions looking to run this out. Here's Shane Williams showing his brilliance again. Look at this. Now he gets it wide. Good effort by big Simon Shaw to get across there.
Yeah, no worries.
And Neil Back ducking his head. And they slid over his back.
Now Cooper clears it away. Murphy off to Hodgson. Untidy pass, but Williams in space again. You could do this on his own probably, but he's going to give Cobain a chance. He'll give it up, and Ollie Smith will easily score the try as Manawatu ran out of defenders. And 50 points on the board for the British and Irish Lions.
So Williams just causing havoc amongst the second wave of defenders for Manawatu, just a little bit too far away from the action. You give a top-class player a bit of room and he can make you look foolish. Yes, that is good support out there. You spoke about it, Nisbo. Wrapped up by a centre, and they just kept on coming wave after wave. The good thing was they kept the ball moving. Space once again, a little bit of a dance, feed the support. Cobain just didn't panic, and Ollie Smith with ease.
That's the 8th try tonight for the Lions. 50 points on the board, and the conversion is through from Hodgson to make it 52 points to 6.
Oh, he's a little powder keg, isn't he, Shane Williams? Exactly what the Lions have been looking for, some spark in their back line right throughout this tour. Once again, he made the break on the left, and he made the last pass really to Cobain, who set it up for Ollie Smith. But if this match counts for anything trial-wise, and Mark Williams down at being in Wellington on Saturday.
Four green.
Cobain takes it for the Lions. Cooper gives it back to Hodgson. And that's just a little off the side of the boot. Hargrave wants to get it going quickly and fires it off into midfield. This is right winger Bevan Gray.
Hands off green. Advantage.
Well, they've been turned over immediately.
Totally isolated. Man on his feet.
Well, I guess that was the danger of restarting quickly. Bevan Gray, in his first season for Manawatu, just couldn't find his teammates. Incidentally, the hat-trick scored by Shane Williams before half-time was the first hat-trick scored by a Lions player since 1983, when John Carlton got one. Nobody got one in 1993. You might remember John Carlton, Murray.
I do indeed, yes. I think he was the leading try scorer for the Lions on that tour. Good footballer.
There's Corrie reaching up high. Cooper just knocked away by a Manawatu player. He's knocked it on, so they'll play advantage. Darcy, Gordon Darcy of Ireland.
Roll out green.
And it should come back here for Cooper. It does once again. Here's Owen. Oh, good pass, putting Shaw into the gap. Running with some real confidence and freedom. Neil Back got away for Hodgson. He's bobbing and weaving his way around. Comes back to Cooper. Back on the inside to Andy Titterell, the new hooker.
Still going, not held.
Shot again for Cooper, whose distribution is already far better tonight. He managed to
Hands away now, green.
Cooper again. Hodgson. Now Murphy. Good defence by Frank Ryan. And how many tackles can they keep making here? The Lions probing away. Hodgson goes short. Here's Williams again. And the little bloke gets try number 4.
Well, he'd be putting the pressure on a test spot. In fact, he's definitely shaded Jason Robinson tonight, so he'd have to be favoured ahead of Robinson, so I can't see Robinson getting a run. Well, the Manawatu defence just running out of numbers, really. They have been pretty keen, haven't they? They've been pretty supportive, but they're just not quite up to the same level. It does make you wonder about the scheduling of these matches, though, Nisbo, when you have a look at the series, the teams that they've played. They're playing a second division side that finished around the centre of the competition. When you look at the first division sides they haven't really played our top sides, or when they have, they haven't had their All Blacks in the side. So from a Lions point of view, it's marginal, the value of assessing a test player, a potential test player in a game like this.
Just got that excellent acceleration, Shane Williams. He's got 4 tries. John Bevan got 4 tries. The great Welsh winger, big John Bevan, got 4 tries against Manawatu back in 1971.
I remember him too.
Beautifully done by Simon Shaw. Now, who's he got with him? That might not need anybody. This could be one of the great tries of all time. Still going. What a run from Simon Shaw. Now, this should set it up. Neil Back. Oh, Back's going to do it himself. Oh, Simon Shaw.
Well, we even got a smile from Johnny Wilkinson there.
What a run.
Spectacular. What a way to take the kickoff. Have a look at this in the replay. His body position. In other words, when you take a kickoff and you want to make yardage, you've got to face on. And he just kept on going. Pushed off the number 9. But took 4 or 5 players. And Neil Back, to his credit, looking before he moved.
Fast becoming a romp now for the Lions, isn't it? And Murray, you're dead right. You wonder how much they're going to get out of this, how good they're going to feel about it when they hop on the bus to go back to Wellington tonight. It's going to be convincing, and probably going to be in a mood they haven't been on the tour.
Well,
Quite
that in itself's good, isn't it, though, Smithy? I think that's really good for them. I mean, we want them to, you know, feel good as long as we give them a hiding again in the second test.
Well, I tell you what, tonight's non-players, boy, did they enjoy that.
Manawatu have made 3 changes. They've got Ben True on in jersey 22, Paula Maisieri on in 18, and Chris Moki in 19.
Well, they've conceded 4 tries since half-time, and that's only 10 minutes.
Roll out, Green.
So Manawatu really have to regroup here. Hodgson's kick.
He wasn't supposed to go out.
Back after this is Bevan Gray. So a few things happening here. Charlie Hodgson's brought up 50 points for the tour. 64 points
10 reds.
equals the most ever scored by a Lions team in New Zealand.
Ronan O'Gara
to
too.
5. Yeah, Ronan O'Gara's on.
Charlie.
And the supporters loving what Charlie did tonight. Here's Cooper away to O'Gara. Oh, a bit high. Too high in actual fact. Darcy. Oh, he got nailed there though.
That was a good tackle.
And then it's a knock on by Sean, not called. So play continues. Shaw feeds it away. There's another spot tackle. That. Oh, you could see it coming a mile away.
It was totally legitimate though. It was a good tackle. Down the waist.
Still advantage. No advantage for the first one. Hold up.
Johnny Leota. I think it was O'Gara.
It was either him or Gareth Cooper, the little halfback.
Penalty for holding on the deck.
Exceptionally well to stand up to it.
Hey, time out. Time out, thank you.
The high tack was 15 green.
Yeah. No. Thank you.
The problem was number 3 green was blowing out in a rush situation. He
Yeah.
came back and swinging arm into a red player.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where it connected. I saw the swinging arm. So what I mean is I suggested it's a support green.
3 green. Okay. Well, I'll keep it at that then, because you didn't get a contact, and we'll take the penalty here. 3, please.
Just have a chat to Kenny Barron.
When we get cleaned out, the one thing we don't do is retaliate towards them. You leave that to the match officials, all right? So I'm going to have to take a penalty. It is anyway. All right, let's keep it clean, please.
Well, he's handling things well, Lyndon Bray. And so the Lions will be happy with him as well.
Yes, it was Ronan O'Gara.
Welcome to Manawatu.
Changes all over the place. We'll try and keep tabs on them. Here's Sheridan for the Lions. O'Gara now gets it wide. In pass to 22. That's Mark Quinter on the field. Lions are getting very close to the line there. Cooper clears it off. Now it goes out to Owen. Oh, that's hit high.
Did he slip on your legs?
In the brain, not quite so sure on that one. And here's O'Gara again. And a big gap here for Queto. He's only been on the field. No, it's not. It's in actual fact, it's Darcy. And the tries mounting. What are we up to? 11 tries. And Darcy comes up with one.
Well, it was willing defence, Manawatu, under big pressure, and they just kept working it. Well, the pass put the man in space. Plastic stuff outside his marker.
And that has been one of the better features for the Lions tonight. If you look at the games they've played so far on the tour, the back line has not passed well. There's been some very good flat passes, and very good situations of drawing and passing as well, and putting men into gaps. I know the opposition standard might not be that high, but you've still got to execute, and the execution has been much better.
Just imagine if the Lions had had a game like this, first up or second up, where they could get their teeth into and get a bit of momentum. Their game plan would have been a lot harder to knock around like has been achieved.
O'Gara's first kick is wide to the right.
Interesting to note too, Nisbo, that change Cueto coming on was for Jason Robinson. So that's his last opportunity to make an impression tonight. You might have thought if this fellow Williams had guaranteed himself a spot, they might have cotton-wooled him. Not the case.
Yes, well, you have to think that Williams has got a foot in the door after what he's done here tonight.
And Simon Shaw wouldn't have done himself any harm either, I'd say.
Simon Shaw, another one of these blokes who wasn't in the original team. He makes the test team along with Ryan Jones, who should. Two blokes who didn't originally make the touring party.
Yeah, didn't make the original 45. But that's what it's all about, getting opportunities to perform on a stage where, you know, a competitive stage, international stage.
Yeah, there's a tight head there. You don't see too many of those these days. Whoops. Yeah. Big Andy Sheridan got the ball. He wasn't expecting it. But he's made a good run, almost down to the halfway line. Cooper feeds it back. O'Gara with that very good kick that we first saw in Rotorua.
Well, I don't know whether that was a wise move. Oh, that's a good move.
Taken by Manawatu very quickly. Lyoto. Now they scramble it back, and it is a scramble. And that's not going to go out. It's going to be fielded by Cooper. Away to Cueto. Pressure on Williams this time. A lot more green jerseys there for the moment. The Lions struggling to get back behind the ball. Now they do. And it goes to Neil Back. He's done well. Did very well. He held them at bay and was able to feed O'Gara. Good stuff by Neil Back. He just held them at arm's length till he found some support.
Ah, yes, they show their class. Certainly when they've got space and room and composure. And they look composed now. They're under control, they're comfortable. Well, he's a stylish footballer, O'Gara, when he's not under pressure.
He did well here to stay in support and then outstrip it. Mind you, it was only a lock he was trying to outstrip, but he did well to maintain his balance. And, the good thing for all the Lions tonight is that players coming off the bench have added to the intensity. It's exactly what you would expect. And they haven't gone to sleep on their lead. They continue to finish, complete the job very well indeed.
The previous highest score, well and truly eclipsed now, was in 1959.
Yes, well, I'm looking at the scorebook, 74. One wonders whether they'll get the 100, but it does ask the question, really, when there's a touring side as strong as the British Lions, where they should be playing second division sides. I don't think they should. Maybe if it was Scotland or Ireland or Wales in their own right, a midweek game, but certainly not a full Lions squad.
Well, the Lions supporters, who haven't had much to celebrate so far on this tour, are in full voice here tonight. I suppose it's relative, really. Here's Leota. Now it's there for Hargraves. Out to one of the replacement players, Nicholas Buckley. Man with the golden locks. That's been true. He played as a first-string player during last season.
No attempt to roll out. Right around the ball.
I think that's a wise move. Their line-out's been good. They're deep inside the 22. It does get them a chance to launch an attack. Yes, look at that. Minutes in the opposition 22. Just the 2. Makes it hard to score. So here's the moment for the Manawatu side. Paul Rogers, good football, this young man.
It's a bad throw though, being claimed by Bank, and Manawatu's opportunity there lost. Hooper, and the clearing kick is made by Darcy.
See Ronan O'Gower just made his first tackle for the tour then, Isbo. Tackled Neil back.
Yes, exactly.
Ball and all.
Yeah, it's not the bravest of him I've ever seen.
No, Irishman spotted an Englishman, didn't he?
Yes, sensation, dissension in the ranks.
It won't be tonight in the bus going back to Wellington.
How long inside it?
Now here's Manawatu. True, gets it back. And good run here, made by Buckley. Now Hargraves, looking to create something, and almost wiggling through the gap was Bryant. True again. And lost it.
Look out, numbers left.
Yeah, lots of them too. O'Gara. And it's been lost by Back. Probably wasn't expecting the pass.
So Manawatu, when they have the ball and they're running it back, they look dangerous. They look competitive. Now there's a plan too by the looks of things. Just about got the pass away. Picked up by Rogers, gave the pass to True.
So another change here, 17 for the Lions.
Yes, 17-3. So big John Hayes has had enough for the night.
Well, it's a wise move, isn't it, to give all the boys a run, make them feel part of the tour.
Boy, they're all getting a good round of applause as they leave the field, these fellas. It's nice to see the supporters actually being rewarded. Murray, after weeks of not much to be excited about. Untidy and just lost forward by Manawatu.
Well, he's trying, of course, to run the way with the halfback standing. I mean, can't for life understand why he's not going to the right-hand side of the scrum.
Crouch and hold. Engage! This side, straight. Thank you. Straight, straight. Forward, boys. Crouch and hold. Engage!
20 minutes remaining here. 74 points to 6.
7, come out.
And Cooper feeds it off to O'Gara, drops it onto the toe, and they came very quickly, but just across the touchline before Shane Williams got his boot to it.
On your front man, please, Red. On your front man. And he's pulled down in the outside.
Taken down in mid-air, so we're playing an advantage. Pretty useful sort of a kick, driving play back into Lions territory.
It's a pretty useful sort of a footballer, Bryant.
Come down, please.
All Black team announced today, Murray. What do you think of the 3 changes?
Well, I think it's confident selection. Confidence in the squad. With the second tier and the first tier of equal standing, really. I think that's a wonderful sign. Kelleher will be delighted, as will Muliaina, who really was the incumbent before last test.
And Rico Gear, of course, gets a run out on the right wing in place of Doug Howlett. Here's the Lions running again. All knocked down. Back is there, though, to tidy up. It's lost forward by Manawatu.
Once again, Rico Gear, too. I mean, he's had a marvellous Super 12 leading up, so he's a player in form. So I think it's very good, actually, that they've done this. I'm sure it won't influence the performance of the All Black team. They should be able to build on their last game and be more confident and hopefully just as competent, if not more. Maybe finish a little better. But I thought it was a superb performance, particularly in the lineouts. Opposition lineouts was just wonderful to see. In fact, it's been overshadowed by scandalmongers this week.
Play out, stay on.
Play resumes. About 18 minutes to go here in Palmerston North as Darcy gets the pass back. Here's Murphy in. Again, just faltering, but he got the pass away. Here's Cueto, and this should be a straight run in for the winger. And it is. And an easy try scored by Mark Cueto. It's the Lions' 12th tonight.
Well, I think he spotted that 30 metres out, Cueto.
Good little loop around from Ronan O'Gara provided the space out wide, and after Murphy was stopped, that's where the second line of defence for Manawatu simply fell apart.
Well, he could see it, and he was gliding his way through, really.
Neil back getting some attention. In the meantime, O'Gara converts the try. The 12th tonight to make it 81 points to 6. Most points ever scored against Manawatu. Last time, biggest score ever against Manawatu, 76 by Hawke's Bay back in 1998. But the wingers have had an enjoyable night, no doubt about that. Shane Williams, Jason Robinson, Mark Cueto. O'Bain takes it down.
He's fine, he made the ball. Come out now too, come out.
Trapped in the back of the maul by Neil Back. How often do we see that during the World Cup? The little fella in the back of the maul. Now the kick through. And it was pretty clever again.
Surprising when you see the possession stakes. It's only 55-45. Manawatu have had their share, but it hasn't been of the same quality. It's often been under pressure or stationary ball. The Lions, on the other hand, it seemed to have had go forward ball. They've found space.
Tipped by Corrie.
Against the throw.
Well, has he done enough to retain his test spot? That remains to be seen. Good tackle in midfield on Smith this time. He's back. The pass off to Williams. Little burst by Cooper. Good run here. Back has got a chance. He's got support. And it's O'Gara. And Roden O'Gara has scored another one. Now that's his second. And it's the 13th scored by the Lions.
Well, they're playing with much more confidence now.
Better interchanging of passes tonight, hasn't there? Okay, the level of defence is not what they'll be striking come this Saturday by any stretch of the imagination, but at least they've had numbers to things and they've had support players and they've actually played like a unit that have been together for a little bit of time.
Well, they have been.
Well, yeah, well, this side wasn't actually formalised until what, late Sunday or yesterday, Monday.
No, I guess part of it too is you should be able to interchange and slot all players in and not change the basic philosophy of what the team's trying to achieve, the continuity, the rhythm. But with this many players on this tour, I don't know whether they've been able to achieve that, Smithy.
Exactly 50 points added in 26 minutes since half-time. Lions are running rampant here. Looks like Manawatu have gained some possession. Now Bryant turns it back on the inside. That's a good burst by new man on the field, Nicholas Buckley. And the crowd would just love to see Manawatu score a try at some point. Haven't really threatened a lot. Bryant, a bit of a no-look pass back inside to Sam Moore.
Pretty effective though. Looking good, Manawatu.
Lead away, it's been dropped.
Nice forward here.
Good scrum.
We're going to lock down.
Tries tonight to the Lions. That equals a record they set way back in 1959.
You just wonder, Murray or Nisbo, whether a guy like Johnny Wilkinson might have benefited for 40 or 50 minutes here tonight. Kick a few goals, get his hands on the ball, make some breaks. No, he's such a precious item, you probably don't want to risk him in this sort of situation, but I think he'd be better out there than in the stand.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure. I mean, if Woodward had been comfortable that this was going to happen, then he would have played guys like that that need sort of confidence boosters, morale boosters. But there's been no indication that this Lions side would be able to dominate any New Zealand provincial side. If you look at the history of this tour.
It's a real mistake by the Lions tonight. And Shane Williams, well, the boys in green couldn't believe their luck. Herded him into a corner. Paul Rogers reaching up high. Now Manawatu, they're going to try and bring it away through their backs again. This fellow Buckley has made a couple of good breaks.
No, it's not forward. It's at the body.
Frank Bryant, who played most of last season in the midfield, he's had a real go in the number 15 jersey tonight.
Thank you, well done.
Manawatu whacking into the rucks as hard as they can go. Buckley short pass, offside against the Lions. They test that line all the time. Quickly taken. Hargraves. Manawatu driving on. Moore. They're only 5 metres away. Cleared away. Here's Buckley. He gets cut down this time though, and they lose a bit of ground.
Still got it though, and there's a bit of space.
Got the pass away. Here's a chance. Just couldn't make it, and it's been taken away by the Lions. Close as Manawatu has got tonight. And there could be one at the other end if they don't watch it. Here comes Williams at 100 miles an hour. Awkward bounce. Leota, though, has got back. Now he's going to have to do something because Williams is on him as well. Manawatu have got 3 against 2. Now it's 3 against 3. Boy, some of the fatties taking a while to get back. Oh, it's bounced away. And it's a try to Gareth Cooper. Not sure how it emerged, but nevertheless it did.
Yeah, they had only 2 or 3 players to that ball at the other end of the track. Still managed to score, though. Still managed to finish.
Well, Williams again here, just seizing on an unlucky bounce from Manawatu, and then when Leota got back, the whole game seemed to stop for a second. He let him get up, and then, of course, he nailed him. And then when the referee got there, he said, hands off 11, and the whole game stopped, and everyone looked up. That's when the ball disappeared out the other side. It's got to be the weirdest rule in rugby, that, when the referee just is able to walk alongside and stop the game without blowing his whistle.
Yes.
Hands off. Stop contesting.
Well, it's a night for records. 95 points to 6. Well, it was as easy as that. And the Welsh halfback, Gareth Cooper, he joins the try scorers. Cobain goes early. Still about 8.5 minutes remaining. Cooper for O'Gara. They're starting to miss their tackles now, and away goes Williams, kick and chase, looking for another one. This has been hooked back. No, it's not out. Shaw goes to the 22. Short pass, O'Gara, here they go again. Oh, no, back. Good tackle. Got his arm out again. And it'll be a penalty.
Straight off your feet, first man. This man here.
Luckily for Neil Back, he copped Tim Faliafaga there, the biggest bloke in the green shirt. Stopped it dead.
That was a fairly legitimate tackle. Almost stopped the thing dead in its tracks. Well, it did, in fact.
Here's Cobain having a run for the Lions. That's 7 minutes remaining here. To bring up the 100, no doubt. Darcy, pretty strong game in midfield. Along with Ollie Smith. Short pass goes to Corey. Corey looking to offload, not able to do so. The danger continues though. O'Gara, oh, this is, yeah, how quick are they? A big centering kick made by Maiseri and dragged down by True. Chance for Manawatu. Ball stolen from an offside position. Manawatu, the crowd really on their feet now, sensing the possibility of a try. And he wants to call out a Lions player, I think.
Well, it was a great run by the big
Captain.
Fijian, was he?
Matt Stevens is about 1 metre back from that tap kick.
Captain, please.
He might get a little spell here.
What did I say?
It's a completely deliberate foul inside the team yellow.
So it'll be the Lions that'll finish the match with 14. Matt Stevens supposed to be back 10 metres, made no effort, and that's the end of him. So Kemp takes it. Manawatu are going to have a real crack here.
Lost forward.
Ball's been lost forward in the tackle. Oh, the Lions have got oodles of players out here again. Looking to feed Williams. Here goes Williams. Oh, they cut him down this time. And up goes the flag.
Well, still a good 5 minutes to go. I'm sure they'll be targeting that 100 points. Well, that's Paula Masari. Big man, obviously Fijian. You can tell by the length of the legs and the arms. Long legs, short body. I wanted him to keep on going. I reckon he had the legs. He didn't realise he was being hunted by a number 8 only. But then the big centre kick.
Just wait for me, please. Is he already off? Okay.
Nathan Kemp and Paul Rogers will be pleased about that. He gets another crack at it.
Simon Easton on in jersey 16. He's actually was the reserve hooker. He's gone on loose forward for Josh Bradnock.
Now John Hayes has gone back on. I'm not quite sure how this works. I thought it was only for scrums. Anyway, O'Gara. Having already told Manawatu they're going to do it for scrums, they've allowed Hayes back on the field. Something wrong there. Anyway, Owen.
Roll out.
5 metres out from the 22. Matt Stevens sent to the bin. Now, back.
Oh, beautiful try.
And here's another one for the little speedster.
Well, that was the best try of the lot, in my opinion, because the Manawatu backs were up very, very flat. And it was an inside back, I'm not sure who it was, who spotted it, took the hole, and then they kept moving it from hand to hand. A beautiful play. Who was that player? O'Gara, was it? Yes, it was. Beautifully done. And then the support. Oh, I love to see that. Rugby how it should be played.
He's linked well since he's been on Ronan O'Gara, finding his fellow Irishman Darcy on that occasion, and then skip pass out to Williams for number 5.
Well, he could see it. He had the vision to see it, and he held the pass. I thought Smithy was marvellous, just going through the hole. And then, of course, they were behind the defensive line. And nobody looks any good when you've got players all over you putting pressure on you, but give these guys a little bit of room to move, and don't they look fantastic?
Version attempt from wide out is made. So 100 points up, 5 tries to Shane Williams. Last time that happened for the Lions, Jason Robinson in Australia 3 or 4 years ago. I see that Andy Titterell has left the field. Maybe they've cottoned on, Smithy.
Well, I don't think you can see any blood on him, I've got to say. So at this stage, they've still got just the 2 front row forwards.
Yeah. Well, I think they realised there was something a bit dodgy there. They had a bloke in the bin.
Hands off, ruck.
So Manawatu, they'll keep trying to the end. Oh, they turn it over and there's a double knock on.
2 lost forwards.
Otherwise, it was under the sticks. Well, the Lions not regaining possession. That was, well, it was a good competition, I guess, but well regained by Manawatu from the kickoff. Pretty impressive. Well, I wonder who they're supporting.
Now here's an interesting one. Gordon Bullock is coming back. Now he's been on the field for about an hour.
No, he was in the blood bin, was he?
No, he was a straight out replacement. I think they just run out of players. But they're going to have to get rid of somebody.
Yeah, they're losing Martin Corrie by the look of it.
Thanks. That's a tactical sub, right? That's it. Crouching hold.
Is that a technical sub or a tactical sub? That's it anyway.
Players coming and going. The Lions, a couple of minutes remaining. Time to score another one perhaps. Off goes Cooper, chased by Maiseri. Fires it back in field and gets nailed big time.
Hands away, Green.
Now Bullock. Williams has possession. He managed to slip it to a teammate. Manawatu holding them out in the corner.
There it is. Let's have a look. It's held up. Going for the penalties.
And he was playing an advantage.
Offside play.
So the Lions will have another go at taking this quickly and firing it out wide as that doesn't happen. Bullock started out as the captain of the team earlier, led them out. Got subbed off just before half-time. You might have to interview him at the end of the game, Smithy. Been a few captains. Knock on by Darcy. Manawatu then in possession in the last 30 seconds of the game. Stuck inside their 22. Kick through is claimed by Shaw. Timed his pass beautifully. Murphy coming at high speed, taken just near the 22.
16 lead on.
Hooper. Now Owen. Got it off to Shaw. He's isolated. Having a bit of fun here. It's like a bit of touch rugby.
Back here. 16 Green, please.
And he wants to have a chat here.
16 Green. Captain. Captain.
And Easton. Well, when the captain comes
Captain,
through,
please.
you can just about guarantee the card is going to come out.
Man prone on the right. Straight shoulder charge. Yellow card.
So 14 each to finish the game, which is just seconds away. O'Gara taps it to himself. Owen. Now Murphy fires it wide to Quino. He might get it in the corner. As the siren goes, and the try scored. Mark Quino gets the last try right on full time to make it 107-6. And that's try number, boy, it's hard to keep up,
25.
17.
Well, a fantastic second half by the touring Lions. Let a quality side get underway and wow, doesn't everything change. Confidence, continuity means confidence, and these guys are underway. This will make them better. This will make them harder to beat in the weekend. There's no doubt about it. It's all about morale. There are a couple of players that certainly came through. Shane Williams must be pushing for a test spot. Simon Shaw. Well, and I'm even interested in O'Gara because he looked pretty jolly clever to me when he came on. He just had so much time and patience and did the right things. Decision making vital for those positions. Well, Manawatu, they tried hard, but they simply didn't have the firepower to match an international side like this in the mood that they've been in.
Final conversion is over from Ronan O'Gara, and it's 109-6. The Lions over Manawatu. They led 38-6 at half-time, and they've scored 17 tries in the process. It's a record-breaking score. It's 109-6. So it's like a cricket, 109-6.
A huge score, and a great morale booster at this stage in the tour. Certainly going to do the tourists a lot of good. Look at that Neil back there, talking to the troops. Let's regroup, we're on the way, guys. And it's only, remember, it's only halfway through the tour in some respects because only one test has been played. So this has been very good for this side. This will make them all feel good. Manawatu, well, it's back to the drawing board, I'd say, for them. They're also having a bit of a chat there. As a group, they're huddled around.
17 tries. They scored 109. The 2001 Lions scored 110 against Western Australia. But tonight here the Lions have been totally dominant and have beaten Manawatu by 109 points to 6.